Hey skiers, I'm Jeff from skiessentials.com.
I'm Bob. How's it going?
Bob and I are here today to talk about a ski that I know that a lot of you guys really like. That's the Laser AR.
Yeah.
This thing gets a lot of attention out there in the world of the ski internet.
Yeah, and rightfully so.
Yeah, absolutely. Forums, on our content, all sorts of different stuff. People often comment with their fondness of the Laser AR. It's like you said, it's no question why. Fantastic ski. Bob, you want to take us through construction?
Sure. So we got a light wood core with this ski to start. You know, a lot of the more higher end skis tend to have like that denser, more burly wood core. They kind of go lighter with this, but they do sandwich it between two sheets of metal. So you do get that vertical sidewall sandwich style construction, wood core, two sheets of metal. So it does have that very standard, on-piste race-like build.
Yeah, they even throw like the World Cup label on the tail.
Yeah.
So it's full-on construction.
Yeah, it's definitely a burly ski, even though the core is a little lightweight, and that'll come into play a little bit later on. And then the interesting thing they do, their torsion racing technology. I think I got that right. So what they do is they cut the metal vertically in the tips and in the tails here.
Yeah, same spot in the tail, basically, right through the middle.
Yep. And so what that does is it allows the ski to articulate. So when you put it on edge, that the ski is able to articulate in the tip and in the tail, giving you more precision, better edge grip, without being too demanding. And that kind of follows into where that lightweight wood core comes into play. Is it does allow this ski to flex. And the ability of this ski, and we've talked about this with other Stocklis, the Storm Rider series in particular, this ski's ability to flex is one of its best qualities. So it's, it's not one of those super stiff, on-trail skis. It's 83 millimeters underfoot, so it does have a little bit more width to it, but definitely has, the ability for you to get the full side cut of the ski. So this one is the 175, 16 and a half. Let me just check the bottom. Yeah, 16.5 meter turn radius. So you are supposed to flex and bend this ski to access all the performance.
Yeah, and then, that torsion racing technology, it's similar to what we just talked about with the declivities, the Armada declivities. Those use like 5 strips, I think, instead of just a singular strip. But yeah, like you said, it's kind of like improving control.
Yeah.
Because it's taking away some torsional stiffness and kind of adding in a little bit of forgiveness. But because it's like only goes to there, then you still get like solid edge grip underfoot.
Right.
So just a little bit easier initiation, which is important. And a little bit we'll talk about why I like that so much. But Bob, you had an interesting analogy for these skis. Not another boat analogy. This time it's a car analogy. But can you share that with us? Because I thought it was awesome.
Yeah, sometimes boats pop into my head and other times cars. And we use car analogies a lot with skis. And I think it's an easy thing for people to relate to because most people have been in a car and know the difference between different brands.
Yeah.
I have this one pegged as a BMW M5. So it's an extremely high performance vehicle that you probably won't see the top end of the performance, just like these, but can also be used as a daily driver. So it's not that supercar that you can only take on the track, like a race ski or something like that. Rather, this does have a daily application to it that a lot of skiers are going to like. So in addition to that, the fit and finish that goes along with it, and just the quality and the craftsmanship and the engineering that goes into it, really kind of reminded me of that M5 from BMW.
Yeah, I think that's such a good analogy. And like you said, like it's not specifically a track car, but like if you were a BMW M5 owner and you wanted to take it to a track day, you would do just fine.
Right.
And you'd keep up with some like pretty fancy, sporty cars. Which I think is like a really good way to think about these skis. Is like you could take them into a local beer league race or like a ski bum race league or something like that, and you would do just fine.
Right.
In fact, you would outperform a lot of people that are there. But it's also kind of got like a grand touring feel to it, where you can take it out with a group of friends and just like ski groomers all day,
Sure.
or other stuff other than groomers too, and just have a fantastic time.
Right.
So yeah, I think it's a perfect analogy for this ski. I really like the performance of these skis, similarly to what we were just saying, because I feel like it hits a lot of different levels. This was a few years ago at our ski test, but I remember putting Ryan Daniel on these skis, and it's like some of our most watched just raw skiing footage on YouTube. Probably some of you guys have seen it, but he lays over some crazy good turns on these skis. He's got a solid race background. But then we skied them on a couple softer snow days, and they had more of that all-mountain characteristic and a slightly more easygoing, forgiving feel, which I really, really like.
Yeah.
And you see a ton of them at Stowe.
Yeah, and it's a great ski for, especially where we are, where we do get, those firm conditions, but we also get a lot of smaller snowfalls.
Yeah.
So, it is a great mix of that ability to, be a 100% groomer ski on trail or 50-50.
Yeah.
It's absolutely versatile in that regard. And because it's not that stiff, dense wood core, dual metal laminate, thick metal, you can use this thing in the bumps and trees.
Yeah.
The tail is pretty responsive, so you do have to be aware of that. But I would take this thing in the bumps around here any day of the week. It would be
Totally.
It's a fantastic mogul ski.
Totally.
A little bit demanding for the trees if you have to make a tight turn, or rather, 2 consecutive tight turns.
Sure. No, that's a perfect way to describe it. It's the linking.
Right. Yeah, that's going to require a bit more effort on the skier's part.
Just that like unweighting of the tail.
Right.
Which it's like tiring.
Yeah,
Because you're
exactly.
basically jumping in between each turn.
Yeah, that's really the only thing that's a little bit too demanding on these skis for around here. But, if you had this thing and said, here, you have to ski this at Stowe every day of the winter, you'd probably be like, okay, fantastic, great, we'll leave it at that.
Yeah, I mean, even it's 83 underfoot, even like on a powder day, like whatever, like it'll work.
Yep.
It's not ideal. In fact, it got me thinking, because in Stockli's catalog, they say something like from the piste to the side country, which I think might be like just a mistranslation from Swiss to English, because side country feels like a stretch to me.
Yeah, but again, not unattainable.
Not unattainable, but when I think about side country, I think about a ski like the Storm Rider 102, which we talked about maybe like a month or so ago, where like I would take this off-piste.
Yeah.
To me, side country is like, you're almost getting into like slightly more demanding, more technical off-piste terrain. So I don't know about full like, it's not a backcountry ski. But it's a really cool ski in the way that it crosses over from carving to off-piste, off-groomers.
Right.
Which I think is a huge reason why you see so many of them at Stowe.
Right.
In fact, you may see more of these than anything else at Stowe.
Well, they stick out too. I mean, it's
they do,
it's a
maybe we
noticeable
notice
ski.
them more.
Yeah, we notice them.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like, how far can you take that M5 off-road? Yes, it can do dirt roads, but are you going class 4? Like.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you can get down it, but it's not.
You're not going rock crawling in your BMW M5.
Correct.
Or if you are, you have a ton of money and you don't care what will happen to it, which I think is probably also a good analogy for these. If you're going to destroy them, it's a $1,300 ski.
Yeah.
So, you want to take pretty good care of them. One more thing that I wanted to add, which we've kind of already talked about in just the way that they kind of like cross over between precision and edge grip and power, but also forgiveness and capabilities in softer snow conditions, is I don't think you skied them this day, but I skied them on a really soft spring day, and we have footage of it. And it was one of those days where you just like, the top layer is corn, so you're going to push through something. But on this day, there wasn't really anything underneath to catch.
Yeah.
So you just ended up pushing through everything. And when I was skiing these, I thought about it multiple times throughout that morning, is a stiffer ski like the Laser WRT ST, I don't think it would have even done it.
Right.
Like, it would have been really hard to ski a ski like that because it's a little bit stiffer, it's narrower in the shovel, so there's less to kind of catch that softer snow. And on these skis, with the way that they kind of allow the tip to articulate, and with the extra width and, a slightly softer flex pattern up here, you still had to be really delicate.
Right.
Like, all I wanted to do was just, like, get the highest edge angle I could and, like, try and get my hip on the snow because I'm silly like that. You couldn't do that on that day.
Right, the snow just collapsed.
It doesn't matter what you were on, you wouldn't be able to do that. So you still had to be delicate on these, but the way that they handled those snow conditions, I thought was really impressive and a good just testament to how well-rounded they are for still kind of being in a carving category.
So now that you are bringing that day up, I was on the AX.
Sure, yeah.
For a part of that morning, so a little bit narrower, and I did feel like you had an easier time getting purchase in that snow and use that little bit of extra width, a little bit more flex, to access and make that turn look more round, versus just kind of pushing the snow to the side as it, I remember clearly, eroded under your feet and just pushed out of the way.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and like I said, you have to be delicate with it.
Right.
But I thought these skis, I thought it was impressive how well they handled that.
Yeah.
And then on the other side of the spectrum, you get them on a classic stow morning with like boilerplate firm conditions, and they're like, it's hard to find the limit of their performance. And that's where, again, I really like that BMW M5 because, like, sure, that car has limits, but like, who is a good enough driver to push an M5 past its limits? Like, I'm not.
Yeah,
I don't even know what that would entail. Like, going 150 miles an hour around a hairpin corner or something and be like, oh, I can't do that.
Right.
But, like, I wouldn't want to do that. And I think that's a really good way to think about these skis is, like, yes, you could put a World Cup ski racer on them and they might be like, nah, that's not going to do what that ski can't live up to my expectations, but that's a World Cup ski racer. You put a random guy like me on them and, like, feels like limitless potential.
Yeah, very impressive.
Yeah.
Very impressive limit of performance.
Yeah, so great skis. It's no wonder why so many people like them a lot. They don't make a ton of them, so it's kind of the type of thing where, like, if you want one, you gotta go get one. Because you don't, like, find old laser ARs kicking around for really cheap. Typically, they are gone halfway through the season. If you want one, don't wait on it. Also, another one that's kind of hard to find a demo because of the price tag.
Yep.
So we do have them for demo here in Stowe. If you ever make your way to Stowe, we have them at our brick and mortar shop, Pinnacle Ski and Sports. So you can try these and then a bunch of other Stocklis too at our shop. But yeah, not something that's easy to demo. So let us know if you have any questions about it, because I feel like this is the type of ski where you might just be like looking through a bunch of reviews to decide whether it's for you instead of like getting to try it right next to the competitive vocal or whatever you want.
I mean, if you have the money to do it, I would buy this thing sight unseen 7 days a week. There's no real need to demo this thing.
There you have it.
I mean, have you ever heard or read a bad comment or
of the Laser AR?
Like, I don't think I have in all of our time.
I don't think so, and I think if I did, it was probably somebody just trying to push somebody's button.
To do so.
Yeah, just be like, I'll say something bad about that ski. But yeah, fantastic ski. Anything you want to end with, Bob?
I did want to bring up the mount point a little bit.
Yeah.
Just because from a visual perspective, I don't know if we can get the whole thing. I'm sure in your still shots we can see it, but when you're clicked in, it just looks like there's more shovel than tail. I would not let that encourage you to move the bindings up. We have faith in these Stockli engineers where they get the mount point correct for a directional ski like this.
Yeah.
So even though it looks like there's not a whole lot of tail, I would, it's more of a visual trick than something wrong with the mount point of the ski or the center mark of or the mount line of the ski.
Yeah.
And you can't. The tail is stiff enough that you feel it. It's all there. There's no need to have more tail in this ski.
No. And I'm not generally the type of person that messes around with mount point on a directional ski.
Yeah.
I am the type of person that does it on a twin tip.
Right.
Like way
All the
more than
time,
most
sure.
people, like to a fault, like have totally ruined a ski's performance by
Yeah.
messing up the mount point. But yeah, and especially on these skis, I don't see any reason to go
Yeah.
anywhere other than the factory recommended spot.
Yeah. So that's, that was one of the things on this and the AX, and even the Storm Rider, the narrower ones in specific, where, it just looks a little bit different from the heel back, but
Yeah.
it does not mean that it's in the wrong spot.
Yeah. So fantastic skis. Let us know if you have any questions about them.
Yep.
We'll see you out there on the slopes
Soon enough.
soon enough. Yeah, we're getting closer. Days are getting shorter.
Yep.
And who knows? Maybe we'll be on a pair of these.
I'll do it.
Okay. All right. Let's see you later.
Bye.